Today our topic Thyratron. A hot cathode gas triode is known by the trade name Thyratron. It's a Thyratron. Plate, grid buffle, grid, it's a grid, cathode, and it's all over. The trade name is Thyratron. As discussed before, a gas diode fires at the fixed plate potential depending upon the type of gas used and gas pressure. Very often it is necessary to control the plate potential is which tube is to fire. This tube is to be continued to the firing. Such as a control obviously impossible with a gas cathode. However, if a third electrode known as control grid introduced in a gas cathode, this control is possible. The tube is known as hot cathode gas triode of Thyratron. By controlling the negative potential on control grid, the tube can be fired at any plate potential. It's look like the construction. It respectively show the cut wave view and schematic symbol of Thyratron. It consists 3 electrodes. Cathode, anode and control grid. Cathode, anode and the total control grid. And grid is closed in a glass envelope containing some intergas at low pressure. The cathode and anode are approximately planar. The control grid thyristor has a special structure quite different from that a vacuum tube. Its total is a vacuum tube. It consists of metallic area and cylinder surrounding the cathode with one or perform discussed known as grid buffles near the center. It's the grid buffle. It's near the condensative area. It's the operation timing. When cathode is heated, When cathode is heated, it emits plainly electrons by thermonic emission. If the control grid is made sufficiently negative, the electrons do not have necessary energy to ionize the gas. The plate current substantially zero. Its current zero. As the negative grid voltage is reduced, the electrons acquire more speed and energy. Positive control grid made sufficiently negative and electrons do not have necessary energy. It's ionized and gas plates current substantially zero, and the negatively grid voltage reduced when acquire more and speed energy. At some grid voltage, it's called critical grid voltage. Sometimes we call it critical grid voltage. Ionization of the gas occurs and the plate current rise a large value. The negative grid voltage for a given some plate potential at which total ionization, the gas start is known as a critical grid voltage. At critical grid voltage, gas ionization creating free electrons. It's like free electrons and space charge. Their space charge creating space charge and resulting large plate current. In addition, these positive ions are attracted by the negative grid and neutralize the normal negative field of the grid, thereby preventing the grid for extending and the further control on the plate current of the tube. We looked at grid, plate, cathode, and this terminal is grading and cathode terminal is heating. The grid now loses all the control tubes, behaves as a diode. Therefore, the function of control grid start the conduction of anode current. It's like going to be a conduction, a diode current, totally diode current. Once the conduction started, the tube acts as a gas diode. It is important to realize the usefulness of control grid. We have seen that the ionization diode not start low values the plate current. In gas diode, it requires that the plate potential should be increased until sufficient plate current is following to the cause ionization, is following the cause of ionization. However, by adjusting, I said that the negative voltage of negative edge, so some are positive cathode point and the negative cathode point is on the grid. The desired plate current can be obtained the cause of ionization. It may be mentioned here that Thyratron fires, the only way to stop conduction is to reduce plate voltage to zero for a period long enough for dissonation of the gas in the tube. As the grid voltage has no control over magnetic plate current once the Thyratron fires, therefore it can't be used as amplifier like a vacuum diode. However, because of its triggering action, when its triggering action it is useful switching and relay application. And in this gas diode, it requires that a plate potential should be increased until sufficient plate are flowing, a cause ionization. And when it's reduced the plate voltage to zero period, then that's reduce the plate voltage and zero period, then it's long enough for deionization of the gas in the tube. Sometimes it's ionization and negative times it's deionization the gas in tube. Thyratrons becomes are also used control rectifier for controlling the amount of DC power feed to the load. They are also used in motor control circuits. So it's very important applications for all over the circuits, and it will, as grid voltage has no control over the magnetic of plate current and once the Thyratron fire. So we will say it will be emits plenty of electrons by thermal emission, and it is also helpful for our locality life. Thank you.